Salute to everybody in the building. Hit that like button as you come on in. We got to talk about it. I'm starting to get the feeling that Canelo Alvarez is going to be. He's starting to feel like an underdog going into this fight. Canelo Alvarez looking to me like he's going to be the underdog by the time this thing happens September 12th. Hit that like button as you come on in. We're going to talk about what's been going on in boxing, amongst other things, and of course, Canelo versus Crawford. I don't think the people that felt Canelo Alvarez was going to steamroll Crawford, I don't think they have much of an argument as it stands as of May 11th, 2025. Salute to everybody in the building. Hollow Ninja, salute for the super chat. He says, Bushido Box until eternity. Salute to you, bro. Thank you for the super chat. Bug will stop Canelo. Salute. Toronto Royalty. Salute. DeMonte Walker. Salute. We're going to wait till some more people get up in here. St. Clarissa Shields going at it with Alicia Baumgartner earlier. I'm not sure what's going to happen there. Clarissa Shields is a heavyweight fighter at this point. You know, Alicia Baumgartner is a little lady. But they was going back and forth. Teofimo Lopez. WBO is pretty much talking about stripping this guy. Like I said, before it even came out. And sure enough, it's looking like it may happen. I haven't heard nothing from Ryan Garcia. No word from Ryan Garcia. MIA. Right? But it seems like a lot of people prior to the Crawford Canelo fight, people that may have had or may have been leaning towards Canelo Alvarez now is leaning towards Terence Crawford. The argument for Canelo, him being bigger guy, it seemed like the flames that was just ensuing from people screaming that he was just so much bigger than Crawford, that has since died down. That has died down. Hold up. I don't think there's going to be too much of an argument when it's all said and done. Um, but we go talk about it. Canelo fans like to show up in the comment section when we're not live. They don't never really hop in the chat to state their arguments. There's a lot of guys that got a lot to say after the video is said and done. A lot of guys. But I'm starting to feel like Canelo Alvarez is going to be the underdog going into this fight. He may not officially be the underdog, but if you know boxing, that guy's the underdog going into this fight. Outside of him being the guy that's been there 168 pounds longer, I don't see him having any advantages going into this fight. Very predictable, slow feet. He's throwing one shot at a time. A guy like that is easy work for Terence Crawford. Not to mention he's been notoriously known for having stamina issues. This is a bad fight. This has turned into a bad fight for Canelo Alvarez. It turned into a bad fight for him. You say you can't believe Robert Garcia picked Bud. I can't believe it either. I am extremely surprised that Rob Garcia picked Bud Crawford to win that fight. Salute to Hollow Ninja for another super chat. He says, but been scraping these online streets. These cats are forgetting everything they said about Bud. Guess what? Now that's over here. Deep down, they know, bro. Yeah, bro, come on. You already know they know. That's an easy fight for Terrence Crawford. Unless Crawford comes out there reckless, that should be an easy matchup for him. Easy fight. Easy fight. Even for a 37-year-old Terrence Crawford.
I'm going with Terrence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terrence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terrence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you can beat him.
That version of Canelo probably does lose to Crawford. He looked different. His movement was different. His body was different. His attitude was different. Everything was different. I don't think Canelo's going to show up like that. He had what he had in front of him, and he knew what it was and what he wasn't. And he understands that Crawford is not the same thing as William Skull. And you're only as good as your last fight. And that's the last fight we're going to see Canelo before he steps into the ring with Crawford.
He might stop you, man. I ain't gonna hold you, man.
Canelo Alvarez got one of the best chins.
Yeah, but listen, he ain't been hit by Terrence though. Terrence can punch, man. You know what I mean? I know he's been in with some of the great punches and all that, but them punches got to be placed right. You know what I mean? And Terrence placed them punches, man. Them body shots, man. I don't see too many people go to Canelo body. Have you seen that?
Not really.
Not too many people.
Even Triple G, who's a good body puncher.
Yeah, but
everything was up top.
Everybody, and he got a hard head, man. So I will go to the body, go to the head, and go back down to the body. And then once you keep on going to that body, he's gonna drop his hands. Once he drop his hands, good night.
Think he beats Crawford?
No. If Crawford come out with the game plan that I'm thinking that he will, and he's just as big. I mean, you know, size is size. I mean, I feel like Crawford got a chance. Everyone counting him out, but he has a chance against Canelo. Yeah. But if Canelo win the fight, I'll be right there to fight him.
You know, it's a hard one to call, and I'm going to tell you why it's a hard one to call. It's a hard one to call because it'll all be predicated upon how Canelo approaches the fight. If Canelo approaches the fight like he's the man and he can box and outbox Terrence Crawford, he'll get beat. If he comes out and shows that he really wants to go out and prove the world that he's still the best, he might win. So it all depends on which Canelo come to the dance.
Look, I think this fight now with Crawford's gonna make it a better fight. I think it's a very close fight. Now I switch. You know, I always thought Canelo was gonna be too big, too strong, but now I'm gonna pick Crawford to win this fight. Crawford is very talented, great footwork, great combinations, and a very strong fighter. You know, facing him off. He's actually the taller man. So I'm leaning towards Crawford now. I switched my opinion. I think Canelo looked too slow, too flat-footed. You know, one punch at a time. You know, I don't think that's gonna be enough for him to beat Crawford. Crawford's too fast, too strong, just too good.
This is but Bud the best fighter in boxing too. Make sure y'all let that be known. Canelo? Yeah. Bud the best fighter in boxing. If Canelo is at his weight, I'm telling y'all now, Bud will beat Canelo. What is the biggest?
Terrence Crawford right now in the sport of boxing is the pound for pound best fighter in the sport of boxing right now.
How good is Crawford?
Crawford is amazing, not just good. He's amazing, and
he said the same thing about you.
Thank you, Terrence. But I think he should be in the book for
really? Is that good?
How to learn boxing. You know.
Really.
For me, pound for pound, number one is Terrence Crawford. I like this man. It's a great fighter.
I think it's Crawford first.
You heard the experts, man. And sure is more to come soon. Right? Be sure is more to come soon. More people's opinions, new opinions on how this fight will play out. Smash the like button for your boy. Hold up, let me see. Salute to Hollow Ninja for another super chat. He says they find every excuse in the book for Canelo before the fight. Now it's too late. They trash Bud, bad to hype Canelo. Remember everything you said. Yeah, man, look. They already running. See, look, with the Spence fight, it was a lot more pushback. A lot more people believe that Errol Spence could actually beat Terrence Bud Crawford. It was a 5-year-long thing. Fans truly believed. It was abundance of boxing fans that really believed. And I'm not saying they was wrong for believing that, but it was a lot of boxing fans that truly believed that Errol Spence could beat Bud Crawford. I don't feel that same energy right now for Canelo Alvarez. Despite the massive fan base that Canelo Alvarez has, I don't feel that same energy. And like I said, when Canelo Alvarez seen Bud Crawford face to face prior to this, right here, he looked at surprised. He looked at almost shook. Almost like he's seen the Grim Reaper. This fight, now I'm hearing it's a rematch, right? So if Bud wins, it's likely going to be a rematch, right? There's some controversy. There's likely going to be a rematch. If Canelo wins, there likely won't be a rematch. But it's a very lucrative fight. There is rumored to be $100 million, over $100 million per fighter, something like that. Don't quote me on it. That's just the rumor. It's probably a little, I don't know. But it's going to be a lot of money on the table for this fight, right? And I think it's not going to be one of Crawford's toughest fights. I don't think it's going to be one of Bud's toughest fights. On paper, it should be, right? It should be one of his toughest fights. I'm not saying it's going to necessarily be easy, but it won't be much of a struggle like people think. I think he's going to get through the fight relatively easy. Now whether he get a clean cut decision or not, that's up to the politics of boxing. We know how that goes, and Canelo has that advantage in this fight, if anything. A lot of people think Bud can stop Canelo. I'm just wondering why y'all late to the y'all late to the party. Because over here on Bushido Boxing, we've been saying, you got guys in the chat that's been saying he's going to KO. You got guys like your boy Bushido saying he's going to dominate him. It's going to be easy. Now everybody's saying, oh, yeah, well, yeah. I'm like, well, we've been saying this. Over here on this side of the internet, we've been saying this stuff, bro. All this stuff these experts saying, we've been saying it. Canelo's been looking like this. But now that he was in there with a guy that had the obvious foot speed advantage and things of that nature, the guy that was going to really implement that type of game plan, now we really see. Now the experts is coming out saying it. Smash the like button for your boy, man. Salute to D Lucky for the super chat. He says, salutes. I see a TKO in 10. Bud will be stronger in this fight. Watch. Oh, yeah. He will be strong, bro. Bud probably going to be a lot stronger at 68 than people expect. He may not even have, his speed may not diminish. He may have that type of frame that can carry that weight and still have his speed. The long, wiry frame, right? He may be able to still retain his speed. And I think that's key for him in this fight, is to just have a lot of speed. Just be the faster guy. Canelo cannot deal with speed. He's terrible against speedier fighters, especially if you got good feet. Especially if you got good feet. Y'all smash the like button for your boy, man. Canelo versus Crawford debate episode 2. I don't even know if we're gonna make it to episode 3. And coming soon, we should have some real debates, but I don't think it's gonna be too much of a debate. I don't see the argument. What could you really debate? I mean, we're talking Terrence Crawford here, right? Only thing you could say for the opposing argument is that he never fought at 68. And that Canelo been there and he's moving 2 weight classes up. That's the only argument you really got. You can't say, oh, well, he's powerful. He's the popper. Canelo hasn't knocked anybody out in a while. A good while. Salute to Hollow Ninja for the super chat. He says, Bud has his own Mexican parade. Freaking savage. Yeah, he did. And speaking of that, I'm glad you said that.
I'm just going to tell you like this. Yeah. If Canelo couldn't knock out Charlo, or you really think that he's going to knock out Crawford? Charlo was on his bike. Charlo was trying not to get hit. Canelo landed some shots. He dropped them, but he still didn't stop him. He didn't stop him. So with that being said, if Crawford can get off, not get hit with the big shots, avoid those big shots, get off again, avoid those big shots, because you see the punches coming. Canelo is so predictable, dude. You know a hook is coming. You know when the right hand is coming. You know he's going down to the body. He gives it away. There's a tail with him. There really is. And it's usually off the high guard. He comes in, he marches forward, then boom. Crawford's going to be able to see all of that. Mm-hmm. He's too knowledgeable inside the ring. His IQ is too high. If he can avoid the shots, avoid the big bum, and not get knocked out, he can outbox Canelo. It doesn't matter. He don't have to knock him out. He can outbox him, outpoint him. So, yeah, I would pick Terrence Crawford to beat a Canelo Alvarez, even at 168. Everybody can call me crazy and whatever you want to say. I get it. Y'all didn't believe me when I told you about Spence, but trust me, Crawford will figure out a way. I know a secret y'all don't know, and I ain't going to tell you why I would pick Terrence Crawford, but it's part of the secret is the reason why I'm picking him to win the fight. So,
Latinos for Crawford. La Raza for Crawford. Right? I bet you a lot of you guys didn't even know it was that many Latinos in Nebraska. Well, if you didn't know, it's a lot of Mexican people in the Midwest in general, all over throughout the Midwest. So, yeah. And he has Mexicans on board with him in this fight as well. I wonder if he's gonna come out with a sombrero with the Mexican colors. That'd be dope if he did that. I think he should do that. I don't know. Should Bud Crawford come out with the sombrero on and all that? Should he do it? I think he should. He came out with the fisherman with the Errol Spence fight. You know what I'm saying? He came out with the general, like he was the leader on the Meet Jamal fight. I think he should come out with the sombrero with the Mexican colors in the Canelo fight. I think he should really do that. Or if he don't do that, he should come out with the red, white, and blue. Salute to Hollow Ninja for another super chat. He says, I was reading a lot of Japanese forums. Many Japanese are saying Crawford winning that fight. They said he's too skilled and got the samurai spirit. That's what they said? I believe it. Because they know what they're looking at. The Japanese know what they're looking at. They know Crawford he has that samurai spirit. That's what I see. That's what Andre Ward sees. You got to show me you could break his will. You got to show me. You got to show me you could beat this dude because we ain't seen the blueprint. Right? You got to show me. This Canelo's the underdog. He may not officially be underdog on the books, but he's an underdog when it comes to this side of the internet. This is an uphill battle for Canelo Alvarez. His biggest advantage is the politics of boxing. There's not even really a debate at this point. We got to wait and see what happens. And unless Terrence Crawford looks significantly old overnight, this is not going to be one of his toughest fights. Mean Machine will still go down and Gamboa will still go down as the toughest opponents for Terrence Crawford. Mark my words. A lot of people that know what they're looking at see that, man, Terrence Crawford is going to beat the hell out of this dude. Canelo Alvarez made a mistake. Turkey Al-Sheikh and all these guys they bamboozled Canelo Alvarez to get the fight. He started believing the hype that he was just too big for him until he saw him in person. This is almost a 40-year-old man. Of course he got bigger. Salute to everybody in the building, man. Hope everybody had a good weekend. Hit that like button for your boy. Boxing, man. Erickson Lubin had a fight. I felt like he should have really, I don't know, right? Like Erickson Lubin, now he's the mandatory to fight Bakaram. He called out Bakaram. We're gonna see what happens. And then we had Emmanuel Navarrete versus I forgot, he's a Filipino fight guy. His name's something Charlie or something. Emmanuel Navarrete lost the fight. They people protesting it and everything. It's a whole bunch of controversy. Should be a TKO loss for Emmanuel Navarrete. You know what I'm saying? The politics got heavily involved in that situation. You know what I'm saying? And Raymond Moritaya, man, I might have to eat a little crow on it, man. I was saying Raymond Moritaya was the dark horse at the 135 for some time ago. I felt like he was the guy that was going to be really competitive against some of the top names that we was talking about at that particular time. But it's looking to me like he's still lagging behind, right? It's looking like he's still lagging behind. That guy he fought, that actually Devin Haney messed up pretty good, right? He went the distance with him. It was, I don't know, man. But that's just some of the latest stuff that happened in boxing more recently. These was fights that happened yesterday. But man, yeah, I'll tell Mama Shito y'all say Happy Mother's Day. She probably gonna be listening to the stream. Hey, he was playing with Sean Porter. You know what I'm saying? Sean Porter's a tricky, tough fight. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing with Bud Crawford, bro. That's the thing that, like, I can't understand it. Experts can't even just think about this, but like this dude figures out whatever you doing, whatever style you got. Mijamov was a tricky fighter. Sean Porter was a tricky fighter. Man, them dudes, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to look good against those guys. You know what I'm saying? And he handled them. They're supposed to be bigger, stronger dudes, and he handled them. Those are just some of the more recent guys that he fought that was bigger, stronger, trickier fighters. And Canelo Alvarez is a kind of a really, really straightforward fighter. He's there's not, especially now, there's not too much, sauce there anymore. You know what I'm saying? You said Canelo's survey. Canelo, Benavidez is a horrible fight for Canelo, man. Horrible, horrible, horrible fight for him. I've been said that. You thought Crawford was a bad fight. Benavidez is even worse. Canelo gets dominated from like opening bell to the end, man. Come on. People still caught up into the mystique of Canelo Alvarez, man. I think the jig is up. It's time to go ahead and take that L, man. He about to take another L September 12th. Don't see too many Canelo fans in the building tonight. You know, they're going to wait till the stream is over before they decide to chime in and, you know, give their thoughts on this matchup. They're going to wait till everything is over, till the coast is clear before they get their thoughts on this matchup. As of right now, because deep down, they don't have a real strong argument. There's no debate. You said that Mystique is paid for. Yeah. It's over with, man. The jig is up. Boy coming, man. The boogeyman coming. Go ahead, walk on the way, man. He coming. This is going to be good, man. Bud may outshine Floyd's performance. I will go further to say that Bud may shut Canelo completely out. If he don't stop him, he may shut him completely out, man. No contest. Maybe after like 3 rounds, after like the fill out process, man, this is going to be a real easy fight. It may not be as exciting. Smash the like button for your boy, man. If you're in the background, smash the like button. We got the big fight coming up. I want to do this thing every Sunday, but I don't think we're going to have too much of an argument, man. Maybe Canelo Alvarez fighting William Skull wasn't necessarily a good idea. Of course, he needed that fight to become undisputed once again to make this fight that much bigger, but I think that was a double-edged sword. I think that was kind of a bad idea because now a lot of people, we seen what we saw. We seen a fighter that was 2 steps, 3 steps behind a guy. They only had 9 KOs. He was really reduced to body punching only. So you imagine if a guy like William Skull, who really did nothing but use his feet in the fight, he won a fight with his feet, in my opinion. Imagine a guy that can use his feet and his hands, and this could take your weapons away from you. Canelo may not even have the body punch option against Terence Crawford. His best shot to hit Bud Crawford is Bud Crawford gets too cocky, too macho. That's his best shot. And I don't think Crawford's going to play that game with Canelo. I just don't think he's going to do it. I don't think we're going to see that mean machine type bulldog performance like I don't think we're going to see that. We're going to see a really, really sharp Terence Bud Crawford. Hey, Mom. Happy Mother's Day. Love you. You said he struggled against a fighter with 10 wins at 154. He struggled.
I started blowing after the second round. Oh, nice uppercut. Crawford does not come into fights. And he's landing it. Good body shot.
That's not hand by Makimov. Nice shots. That's why I told you in the beginning of the round, this is a tough fight for Bud, man.
Good jab.
That's a good fight. He is jabbing.
And that's my thing. I feel like Bud, we can see Makimov even at this point still being patient.
These guys are both throwing some haymakers now.
Whatever you do well, stay consistent.
It's like a.
As Crawford came in, Makimov did a nice job ducking out.
Ooh, good shot.
He overextended it. And boy, Crawford. Good uppercut for middleweight title. You know, we've talked about Canelo a lot.
Struggled. Canelo's not 26, 27 years old like Israel Mitrumov. Canelo's 34 years old with a lot of fights. A lot of money. And the blueprint is out, Canelo Alvarez. The blueprint is out. Terrence Crawford, there's no blueprint right now. There's no blueprint on how to beat Bud Crawford. No blueprint. Yo, smash that like button for your boy. Yeah, he been in there with killers at 175. He has. But he ain't been in there with Bud Crawford. Look at that. Here we go. Here we go. He said this is another biased racist channel. I got Crawford winning, but you're trying to make it seem like Canelo getting knocked out. Boy, why I gotta be biased and racist, bro? If you got Crawford winning, why it gotta be a biased racist channel? I've been saying a lot of this stuff that I'm saying now, I've been saying it for years. But now that veil have been removed from everybody's eyes, now everybody's starting to see.
I'm going with Terrence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terrence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terrence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you can beat him.
That version of Canelo probably does lose to Crawford. He looked different. His movement was different. His body was different. His attitude was different. Everything was different. I don't think Canelo's going to show up like that. He had what he had in front of him, and he knew what it was and what he wasn't. And he understands that Crawford is not the same thing as William Skull. And you're only as good as your last fight. And that's the last fight we're going to see Canelo before he steps into the ring with Crawford.
He might stop you, man. I ain't gonna hold you, man.
Canelo Alvarez got one of the best chins.
Yeah, but hey, listen, he ain't been hit by Terrence though. Terrence can punch, man. You know what I mean? I know he's been in with some of the great punches and all that, but them punches got to be placed right. You know what I mean? And Terrence placed them punches, man. Them body shots, man. I don't see too many people go to Canelo body. Have you seen that?
Not really.
Not too many people.
Even Triple G, who's a good body puncher.
Yeah, but
everything was up top.
Everybody, and he got a hard head, man. So I would go to the body, go to the head, and go back down to the body. And then once you keep on going to that body, he's gonna drop his hands. Once he drops his hands, good night.
Think he beats Crawford?
No. If Crawford come out with the game plan that I'm thinking that he will, and he's just as big. I mean, you know, size is size. I mean, I feel like Crawford got a chance. Everyone counting him out, but he has a chance against Canelo.
Yeah.
But if Canelo win the fight, I'll be right there to fight him.
You know, it's a hard one to call, and I'm going to tell you why it's a hard one to call. It's a hard one to call because it'll all be predicated upon how Canelo approaches the fight. If Canelo approaches the fight like he's the man and he can box and outbox Terrence Crawford, he'll get beat. If he comes out and shows that he really wants to go out and prove the world that he's still the best, he might win. So it all depends on which Canelo come to the dance.
Look, I think this fight now with Crawford is gonna make it a better fight. I think it's a very close fight. Now I switch. I always thought Canelo was gonna be too big, too strong, but now I'm gonna pick Crawford to win this fight. Crawford is very talented, great footwork, great combinations, and a very strong fighter. Facing him off, he's actually the taller man. So I'm leaning towards Crawford now. I switch my opinion. I think Canelo looked too slow, too flat-footed. One punch at a time. I don't think that's going to be enough for him to beat Crawford. Crawford's too fast.
And biased and racist channel. I mean, it was a different group of guys picking Bud Crawford to win the fight, man. I don't know. Canelo won't never have the footwork. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing, man. He will never be able to keep up with Crawford with the foot speed in the foot speed department, man. He will always struggle with those fighters. This is why him, guys like Ryan, Pitbull Cruz, they come out here and say stuff like, well, I don't like to fight these fighters because they don't got the foot speed to keep up with these guys. Salute to LT Energy for the super chat. He said, I rewatched Bud spar with Ward, and Bud's defense is second to none when he wants it to be. Yeah, man, Bud just likes to fight too much. And when you throw punches, you get hit. So he gets hit a little more than he needs to, but yeah, man, he can be really sharp when he wants to be in the defense department. Yeah, smash that like button for your boy, man. I think Canelo's the underdog going into this fight now, man. He just feels like the underdog now. He's the underdog going into this fight, man. You said Canelo lost a lot of fights. They just gave it to him. Yeah, man. Karate body salute. You said him not being motivated with Skull. Canelo's still gonna. I mean, he's gonna look how he's gonna look at this point, bro. We all knew what a Cuban fighter is gonna bring to the fight. You know what I'm saying? Not all Cubans fight like that these days, but 9 times out of 10, you gotta expect a Cuban fighter to do what Cuban fighters normally do. And Canelo knows this more than anyone, better than anyone. And yet and still, you know what I'm saying? He just really couldn't do nothing with dude. And it just really made him. It showed um, a lot of deficiencies in his game in comparison to a guy like Crawford, who has a lot of skills and a high ring IQ. Yeah, Teddy Atlas said. Yeah, Teddy Atlas has some things to say too. I need to find his clip. He said Canelo's overrated. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. These guys know what they're looking at, bro. Teddy Atlas will be a little bit more outspoken about it because he's a super OG, and super OGs tend to be a very outspoken. And yeah, he's gonna say things like that. You know what I'm saying? Canelo, man, he don't stand a chance. He only really has a puncher's chance, bro. Truth be told, at this point, we got to be a little bit nice. But in my opinion, he really only has a puncher's chance, bro. A puncher's chance with the politics of boxing. Other than that, this should be the Crawford's. This is a great opportunity for Crawford. I tell you that. Salute Hollow Ninja for a super chat. He says, everyone Canelo fought either was headhunting, had paycheck mentality, pity patting, or stood in front of him like an idiot throwing reckless. Bud would be the first to break Canelo down systematically. Oh yeah, ain't it? Bud will break him down. Bud will break him down because not only, the money, of course, is going to come with this fight. But this was cement Crawford. This is an opportunity for Bud Crawford, for Terrence Crawford, to cement his legacy in the sport as one of the absolute greatest boxers of all time. So he has to go out there and really make a statement in this fight. His legacy is on the line here. He can't just go in there and lay down like some of these other dudes did for Canelo. Because he's a dude that accomplished a lot in the sport. You know what I'm saying? Made a lot of money, accomplished a lot in the sport. And this right here this would be considered a huge feat. Moving up those weight classes and fighting a guy like Canelo Alvarez and beating him will cement his legacy. So yeah, this is gonna be a real tough fight for Canelo, bro. This is a tough, tough, tough fight for Canelo. Tough fight. Every one punch Canelo throws, Crawford can hit him with 2 or 3. Because I don't think the weight will slow. I don't think the weight is going to have a significant difference on Crawford's speed. I think he's still going to have the faster hands and everything. He has the arm length to really carry the weight and everything. So, yeah, this is a trick, man. They tricked Canelo, man. They tricked this dude, man. They tricked everybody, man. They tricked everybody, man.
my puta. Hey!
They tricked everybody, man. Wow. And then what makes it even more mysterious is that he's not even taking the interim fight. He's not taking no fight. So we don't even know how Bud is going to look. It's not like he's fighting a guy at 68 and we can kind of test him and see how he looks. And, people has, oh, well, he can't be, No, we don't know what's going to happen now. This was a trap, man. They tricked Canelo Alvarez. They outsmarted him. You said the long layoff? I don't know. I look at it like if Canelo was a trickier fighter, then I think the layoff will have be a pretty big factor for him. But Canelo's pretty straightforward, man. He's very straightforward, bro. And Crawford been fighting his whole life. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of time off is good for older fighters anyway, especially when you've been fighting since you was like 8 years old. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you ain't gonna be fighting as much when you almost 40. He took some time off, rested his body, growing into the, getting comfortable with the weight because he probably likely won't be coming back down. I don't see him coming back down and playing around in boxing after this fight because it's likely going to be a rematch because he's going to dismantle Canelo Alvarez. Yep. You said Canelo sold his soul? Yeah, he sold out. They tricked him, man. But it was only a matter of time. He would have either had to fight Crawford or Benavidez before it was all said and done anyway. A boxing fans won't let him live it down. Because at least with Terrence Crawford, he has a puncher's chance. Against David Benavidez, he has no chance. Salute to Hollow Ninja for another super chat. The sponsor of the stream. He says these Canelo fans, the more trash, Bud, and make him look like nobody, the worse you make Canelo look when he remember everything you said. I mean, they're gonna have to try to defend him in some type of capacity. It's not as many arguments as they thought it was gonna be. Prior to the Williams Skull fight, it was a heavy case for Canelo just to pretty much thrash Crawford simply because he was the bigger guy. But now, after that performance, after seeing Bud Crawford face to face with Canelo Alvarez, now everybody's singing a different song. Everybody's singing a different song, man. Smash the like button for your boy. I don't think there's much of a debate. I don't think there's going to be too much of a debate unless something magical happens at this point. I don't think this is going to be as strong as the Crawford Spence fight or Spence Crawford fight because there was a strong case for Spence to beat Bud. But as we saw how that fight played out. I don't think people truly believe that Canelo could beat this guy. People truly believe that Spence can win. That was a 50-50 fight in a lot of people's eyes, and a lot of people had Spence winning. I don't think people feel the same about this fight right now. Because when we start stacking stuff together, side by side, Crawford's stack is a little bit higher, or actually a lot higher. Only thing you can say for Canelo is that he got the politics and he's the bigger guy. But now people see that he's not really that much of a bigger guy. He got to wear stacked shoes and everything else. He's going to be really surprised on what's going to happen September 12th. I'm telling you. It's going to be a lot easier than people think, this fight. If Canelo Alvarez shows up anything like he did against William Skull, yeah, it's going to be a one-sided beatdown. You said Spence fans rooting for Canelo or Bud. That's a good question. I don't know, man. If they still in boxing, I would imagine they rooting for Canelo. Some of the ones that's deep down mad that Bud won against Spence. Yeah, I would love to see him lose. So yeah, they rooting for Canelo, man. They rooting for Canelo. Y'all smash the like button. You said they're not giving Skull no props. Of course not. He's the martyr. He's the scapegoat. They got to use him as the excuse, the reason why the fight was lackluster. You know what I'm saying? But if you understand boxing, outside of the fact that can kind of critique the guy for not pressing that action more, right? But if you looking at boxing, man, you seen one dude that couldn't do nothing with another dude. If you took away the names and the fame, the popularity, and you was just watching boxing, you turned it on, you would have seen one dude styling and profiling on another dude. And then you would have questioned how the hell they get this guy to fight. If you didn't know nothing about boxing and you watched that Skull and Canelo fight, you would have been questioning how the hell they give it to this guy. Why they give it to this dude? How you give this dude the first round? He only threw 4 punches, landed none of them. William Skull landed 1 punch out of like 20 something, but you gave the round to Canelo. How does that even happen? You know what I'm saying? This dude got all kinds of handicaps and shit. He got the handicap modifiers all the way up, man. He cheating. He cheating. He don't play on Hall of Fame mode, man. He play on fucking rookie. Middle school.
I'm just gonna tell you like this. If Canelo couldn't knock out Charlo, or you really think that he's gonna knock out Crawford? Charlo was on his bike. Charlo was trying not to get hit. Canelo landed some shots. He dropped them, but he still didn't stop him. He didn't stop him. So with that being said, if Crawford can get off, not get hit with the big shots, avoid those big shots, get off again, avoid those big shots because you see the punches coming. Canelo is so predictable, dude. You know a hook is coming. You know when the right hand is coming. You know he's going down to the body. He gives it away. There's a tail with him. There really is. And it's usually off the high guard. Where he comes in, he marches forward, then boom. Crawford's going to be able to see all of that. He's too knowledgeable inside the ring. His IQ is too high. If he can avoid the shots, avoid the big bum, and not get knocked out, he can outbox Canelo. It doesn't matter. He don't have to knock him out. He can outbox him, outpoint him. So yeah, I would pick Terrence Crawford to beat a Canelo Alvarez, even at 168. Everybody can call me crazy and whatever you want to say. I get it. Y'all didn't believe me when I told you about Spence, but trust me, Crawford will figure out a way. I know a secret y'all don't know, and I ain't gonna tell you why I would pick Terrence Crawford, but it's part of the secret. Is the reason why I'm picking him to win the fight. So.
Yep. Seeing what's up, Salute Dragon Leg. I see you in the building. Yeah, Tim Bradley's right. He getting it right. You know what I'm saying? We just gotta wait and see what happens. You know what I'm saying? He said the same thing I said. The dude's too predictable. Remember what I was saying? Canelo's right hand, that right hand just looks you can just see it coming. You know what I'm saying? Like Canelo's shots is so telegraphed, you could just see everything coming. A guy like Crawford, man, come on, man. Come on, man. That dude to see them punches coming yesterday, bro. September 11th, he would already knew what punches you throwing, dog. You so slow. You said you betting 30K the fight goes the distance, and I'm betting 1K on Crawford winning. Oh, it's likely to go the distance. It's likely to go the distance. I will be surprised if Crawford gets the stoppage. But guys like Bozianis think Crawford can get the job done by via KO if he attacks the body. Salute to Hollow Ninja for the super chat. He says, Punch Drunk IBFPF spinning up a narrative that Turkey will cheat Canelo because Turkey raised Crawford's hand and not Canelo's. Clowns for real. Ah, man. Something told me that narrative was going to pop up. That they was going to... but it came sooner than I thought. I had a feeling that was going to happen. That these guys were going to say that Turkey was going to be Simon Crawford. You know, because he seems to be really, in favor of Terrence Bud Crawford. Right? They seem to have a better relationship. So a lot of guys probably feel that Canelo's going to get bamboozled on the politics in this situation. The guys that, tend to lean more towards Canelo Alvarez. Well, hey, let them feel that, because this is what a lot of people feel when guys get in the ring with Canelo Alvarez. That they may not get a fair fucking shake just because it's Canelo Alvarez. It ain't so fun when the rabbit got the gun. That's what I say. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, so be it now. Yep. This is a dude whose promoter was bashing him in the public. And now he got one of the most influential guys in this boxing right now backing him. Yep, now. See how that shit turns out? See how things turn out, man? He went from nobody wanting to work with him, Eddie Hearn saying it'll be a disaster. Nobody really wanting to work with him, none of these promoters. Now look. Mm-hmm. You said Canelo fans are going to say snack? Of course. Y'all smash the like button, free boy. There's going to be a lot of snack stuff. It's going to be a lot of things, man. But like I said at the beginning of the video, Canelo Alvarez is the underdog going into this fight, man. He's the underdog. The books ain't going to have him an underdog. But put your money on Crawford. Canelo Alvarez definitely the underdog going into this fight. You said you got Canelo, he fought Triple G. That was some years ago. That was some years ago. And the third Triple G fight looked terrible. Canelo Alvarez hasn't got a stoppage since Caleb Plant. That was how many years ago now? About like 4 years ago? He hasn't even got a KO in a while. Going tooth and nail with Berlangas and Manguias. I wouldn't say tooth and nail. That's reaching, but shit, they should have got stopped. If Canelo's still that guy. Those fighters, salute to Karate Body for the super chat. He says, Canelo fans have become real hostile ever since the reality of this fight came about. Of course. Very hostile. It's going to increase as the weeks go by. They're going to get a little bit more racial. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to get a little bit more racist. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna start to stray away from boxing a little bit. It's gonna stray away from the sport. It's gonna be a little bit more about race. Watch. Because they ain't gonna have no argument for the fight, bro. Other than, oh man, I hope this guy wins now. I can only hope he wins. It's gonna get a lot more racist as the weeks go now, because there's no argument for him to win no more. Now Turkey is in his back pocket. I mean, come on, Blake got all the chips in his favor. Come on. All the chips are on his side now, man. He got the juice now. He's the A side now. Bud Crawford the A side now, man. And if he's not the A side now, he definitely will be when there's the rematch. Oh man. Floyd Mayweather, they told you already. You just listen to Floyd, man. If you ain't gonna listen to anybody, listen to Floyd Mayweather. Listen to Floyd Mayweather. If you gonna listen to anybody in boxing, whether it's me or somebody else on the internet or any of these other experts or trainers, listen to fucking Floyd Mayweather, man. You said Turkey might expose Canelo like other fighters. Man, I'm telling you. Salute to Mario for the super chat. He says, if Crawford wins in September, do you think Benavidez comes back to 68? I think he's the real boogeyman. Nah, Benavidez, nah. I think it's time. I think his time at 68 is up, man. You know, there's no reason for him to squeeze back down to 68 and not really put out like he normally would if he wasn't cutting all that weight. So nah, he's done with 68, bro. That chapter is over with. You know what I'm saying? Canelo really froze him out, and he did a good job of keeping him at bay for as long as he did, really. You know what I'm saying? He froze Benavidez out, but he got to fight Crawford because there's nobody else left. So he really had no choice but to fight Crawford. But Chris Eubanks kind of came late because of the Ben fight. You know, his popularity and everything spiked. I mean, peaked. So that fight is kind of an option for Canelo, but right now he's tied in with Crawford, and that's kind of like he signed his death certificate. Essentially, he signed a little too early. He should have kind of waited, but they thought Crawford was going to be too little, and they thought wasn't going to be what it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? Shit just did not play out like they wanted to. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, these guys are freaking out behind the scenes. Eddie Reynoso's head's going to be great by the time this fight starts. Not to mention, right? He's going up against 3 trainers too, 3 coaches who likely has been studying Canelo Alvarez individually and together for a long time now. This Canelo Alvarez is the underdog in this fight, man. He's the underdog in this fight. Yeah, smash that like button for your boy, man. Canelo Crawford debate episode 2, man. I don't think there's going to be much more of a debate after this. Crawford probably is on a decline, but he's definitely not on a significant decline like Canelo. Crawford likely is on some type of decline. I wouldn't doubt it. He's almost 40 years old, but he definitely still got enough to beat a Canelo Alvarez. Oh yeah, that's right, Falcon. He got a coach that's familiar with the Mexican style. Like I told you guys earlier in the stream, there's a lot of Mexicans, a lot of Latinos in the Midwest. Crawford seen that style that Canelo has since he was a kid. It's going to be easy. I can see if Canelo Alvarez was a fighter that was like 6 feet. You know what I'm saying? 6 feet tall guy. You know, some shit like a guy like bigger like Benavidez or something. Yeah, that'd be trouble. But Canelo, oh man, this is gonna be easy. You said Mayweather beat Alvarez on a decline. Yeah, Mayweather was on a decline. Hell, Crawford's the younger fighter than Canelo. He's still the younger fighter than Canelo. Salute to Hollow Ninja for the super chat. He says, Bud's going to destroy another toxic fan base. Yeah, he is. He's going to get rid of this fan base. He's going to get rid of the Spence fan base. Man, ain't going to be nothing left, man. This dude going to wipe out boxing, bro. He's going to wipe out boxing, man. He's going to clean it out. It's going to be nothing but the young guns left. Because I don't see Bevil being around much longer. Bevil ain't going to be, and better be, they ain't going to be around too much longer. A lot of these guys going to be phasing out anyway. A lot of these guys, Fury, AJ, Wilder, all those dudes, everybody's gonna be phasing out, man. The Bud's gonna finish Canelo off. Yeah, Bud gonna have Canelo and Spence on his resume. He's gonna also destroy the resume argument. You know, you can't really say too much about Bud at this point. That's why it's kind of hard to debate this shit. That's why it's gonna be real hard for anybody to debate this shit without getting personal or getting racist. They either get personal or get racist, bro. There's not too many things they can say about Canelo Alvarez. You firing off all these shots on them, dropping bombs on them. They gonna say, "Oh well, you just a fanboy. You're racist. You biased. You're biased channel." You know what I'm saying? That's what's gonna happen, bro. I've been doing this shit for too long. I understand how people work. That's exactly what's gonna happen. There's no argument, bro. Unless something magical happens within the next couple of months. There's still some time before this fight happens. Unless something magical happens, there's no argument for the people that's leaning towards Canelo Alvarez. What's up, Dan Tan? I see you in the building. Yeah, Ellie Sec back. Yeah, his fan base is gonna be shot. You said Crawford's reach is longer than Bevil's by 2 inches. I'm telling you, bro. And Bevil looked like he had a huge reach advantage. Bevil looked like he had a huge reach advantage over Canelo, bro. And Crawford got a 2-inch reach advantage over Bevil. I'm telling y'all, they tricked this dude, bro. Canelo should took the fight, man. but Turkey got on the scene, man. They gold him into it. Money talks. Oh man, this is funny, bro. I didn't think people would get this feeling about this fight until a little bit closer to the fight. This is already, you know what I'm saying? We still got like 3 months until the fight. 4 months, however long it is. We got wow. And it's already looking like the pendulum has shifted already. And look, not to mention this dude is a switch hitter too, man. To top it off, the dude can fight from both stances, bro. He's pretty much a southpaw at this point, though. But he can fight from both sides. This is arguably the worst matchup possible for Canelo. His only ray of hope in this fight, outside of the politics still being on his side, is if Crawford decides to fight Canelo style fight. That's his only chance. His only chance, bro. Y'all smash the like button for your boy, man. We got some people in the building tonight. Salute to everybody in the building. Salute to everybody donating to the dojo. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I'm telling you, and Bevil fought a really smart, methodical fight, man. A high IQ fighter. Gonna stick to the game plan. And Bevil got it done relatively easy against Canelo. You know what I'm saying? You said I unsubscribed from Punch Drunk because he faked the car crash. Yeah, man, that shit lame as hell, bro. That's some weird shit, bro. He had people literally thinking that he was seriously hurt from that car crash and shit, and then it wasn't even real. That shit crazy. Crawford like to beat dudes at his own game. That's the thing. That's Canelo's only hope in the fight is to hope that Crawford, who has Mexican fans behind him, could feel the La Raza spirit, the warrior spirit, and fight Canelo in a macho gunslinging Mexican showdown. That's his only fucking shot. Is to get the Mexican fans behind it, and then Crawford starts feeling Mexican, and then he starts fighting like a Mexican in the ring. That's his only shot to beat Terrence Bud Crawford. Crawford should be able to beat this guy in his fucking sleep. I told you they get racist, bro. They stay away from Bushido boxing, bro. They get racist real quick. They'd have no argument. Guys stay away from me debating, bro. They don't have no argument. They get personal real quick. They get personal real quick, man. You said Canelo gonna fold Crawford. We gonna see. I don't think that's gonna happen, man. That's wishful thinking now. I think this guy has a puncher's chance. That's about it. He took the wrong fight, man. He won't be the stronger guy. He won't be the faster guy. He won't be a smarter guy. He won't even really be the bigger guy. The jig is up. Crawford's exposed Canelo. Salute to Hollow Ninja for a super chat. The sponsor of the stream. He says, Bud, don't fight like Miguel Berlanga. Then they will say Bud is running. They want Bud just to stand there and throw records like with no defense. Yeah, of course. They're going to try to, that's going to, something like that could possibly lull him into a firefight. And that's what they could only hope for. That's their only hope, man. He won't be able to bully Bud around the ring. He's not going to be the physically stronger guy. None of that stuff. Watch, I'm telling you. People are going to be surprised at how easy this fight is for Crawford. It's going to be easier than Floyd. Salute to Baskerage for the super chat. He says, greetings from the mean streets of North Omaha, Nebraska. What's goody, everybody? Well, salute to you, man. And salute to the mean streets of North Omaha, Nebraska. Yep, that's right. Dude from Nebraska, man. Boy Crawford from Nebraska. Not from New York, not from Philly, not from Cali somewhere, not from New York, Nebraska. Not from Chicago, Nebraska. Canelo took the wrong fight, y'all. You said the only way he wins, he makes it born? You said out of the two fighters, which one has been dropped at least one time? Neither actually been dropped. You said at least one. You tried to squeeze that one. Canelo's proven, if anything, to be very durable, and he could take some shit. Pause, right? He could take some shit. He could take some punches. He's tough. He's real tough. I'm curious to see if Crawford's going to attack his body. We never seen nobody attack Canelo's body. Nobody. I ain't never seen nobody attack his body. A consistent body assault throughout the fight. I never seen it. Everybody always headhunts Canelo. Crawford's going to be attacking that body.
Crawford always does a good job at being the one to finish the work with first and third work. Right there, he went first, expect a return, then he came back with the third shot. When the fourth shot came, good defense, he finished with the fifth shot. He's always the one to finish the sequence, finish the work. Beautiful. Here's another sequence of Crawford going first. And before he goes again, he's waiting on a return because he's a master counterpuncher. So now when the opposition comes with his second onslaught from the return, Crawford is already ready to counterpunch with his third finishing, which was a center left uppercut to the center. And he went down there again and got some good work going for himself. Good job. More first and third work by Crawford here as he anticipates, and once he decides to go first with his offense because he uses it as bait so you can react. He goes first. When you react, he finished with the third shot. It works wonders for him every time in practice and in fights. Right off the rip, Crawford wanted to occupy the space just for a small distraction. He got a small reaction. He was fine with that. Then he goes with the active jab here. He goes with the active jab once again to get a reaction. He went first. The op went second. Crawford finished third.
Counter puncher. Master counter puncher. And unlike Floyd Mayweather, who's also a master counter puncher, Crawford ain't sitting there trying to pot shot you. He ain't sitting there trying to pot shot. Horrible, horrible fight for Canelo. If you thought Benavidez was bad, Crawford damn near equally as bad. You said somebody explain how Canelo's style would be successful. That's a strong man. That's a good question, man. I don't think nobody has the answer, bro. They don't got the answer, dog. Because I was looking for the answer, and I can't find one other than the fact that the politics in his back pocket, or he lands the big shot on Bud. He has two options. I think Crawford's going to be able to take those punches a lot better than people think when he does get hit. If he does get hit, I think he's going to take the punches a lot better. And he's going to be a lot stronger than people think too. You thought he was strong in a Spence fight. He's going to be even stronger against Canelo. He's going to really try to show his strength in that fight. This is a bad fight for Canelo, bro. Especially at this point in his career, where Canelo's been kind of just sitting back getting the bag. He's in there with a dude that's just, you know what I'm saying? You said politics and power. That's it. That's not a skill set, though. Power has never been the end-all, be-all determining factor if a guy's going to win. If that's the case, Wilder would never have lost. George Foreman would have never lost. Ernie Shavers should have never lost. Salute to Carlos Rosado for the super chat. He says, Bushido salute. Hey, boy beat Canelo like Joe Jackson did Little Michael when he couldn't get the spin down. He go arrow that boy. I'm telling you, salute to you, Carlos Rosado. I mean, man, it's, oh, man. It might look like an arrow fight, bro. It might look like. It may be a little bit more caution early on, but I would say Canelo style is almost about as even predictable as Errol Spence's. I say Errol Spence is probably a little more difficult just because Spence is naturally the more athletic guy, naturally the more faster guy, athletic guy. But that's just going to be crazy, crazy, man. I can't wait. I would like to see what type of game plan they implement. I don't see what they can do. There's nothing they can do, bro. They don't have the reach advantage. They don't have the foot speed advantage. Canelo Alvarez jab is almost non-existent these days. You know, what he gonna do, land a wide hook? What he gonna do, land a looping right hand? I guess the dude that can switch hit with a longer reach, with a hard power jab, whose jab gotten better over the years. We seen that jab against Spence, who has a consistent body assault, who don't get enough credit for his body work throughout his career. Crawford is a pretty active body puncher. He's hitting you with every kind of punch you could fucking throw. Come on, man. This is a bad matchup for Canelo, bro. Real bad fight. You thought Floyd Mayweather was bad. You thought TBE was bad. That was just a schooling. This is about to be a massacre from a berserker. He was in there with a wizard. Now he's going to be in there with the warrior. He got razzled and dazzled by the wizard. Now he's going to be in there with the warrior.
I'm going with Terrence Crawford. You know, big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terrence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. You know, it ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this the last couple of years. I'm not betting against Terrence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you can beat him.
That version of Canelo probably does lose to Crawford. He looked different. His movement was different. His body was different. His attitude was different. Everything was different. I don't think Canelo's going to show up like that. He had what he had in front of him, and he knew what it was and what he wasn't. And he understands that Crawford is not the same thing as William Skull. And you're only as good as your last fight. And that's the last fight we're going to see Canelo before he steps into the ring with Crawford.
He might stop you, man. I ain't gonna hold you, man.
Canelo Alvarez got one of the best chins.
Yeah, but hey, listen, he ain't been hit by Terrence though. Terrence can punch, man. You know what I mean? I know he's been in with some of the great punches and all that, but them punches got to be placed right. You know what I mean? And Terrence placed them punches, man. Them body shots, man. I don't see too many people go to Canelo body. Have you seen that?
Not really.
Not too many people.
Even Triple G, who's a good body puncher.
Yeah, but
everything was up top.
Everybody, and he got a hard head, man. So I would go to the body, go to the head, and go back down to the body. And then once you keep on going to that body, he's gonna drop his hands. Once he drop his hands, good night.
Think he beats Crawford?
No. If Crawford come out with the game plan that I'm thinking that he will, and he's just as big. I mean, you know, size is size. I mean, I feel like Crawford got a chance. Everyone counting him out, but he has a chance against Canelo. Yeah. But if Canelo win the fight, I'll be right there to fight him.
You know, it's a hard one to call, and I'm going to tell you why it's a hard one to call. It's a hard one to call because it'll all be predicated upon how Canelo approaches the fight. If Canelo approaches the fight like he's the man and he can box and outbox Terrence Crawford, he'll get beat. If he comes out and shows that he really wants to go out and prove whether he's still the best, he might win. So it all depends on which Canelo come to the dance.
Look, I think this fight now with Crawford is gonna make it a better fight. I think it's a very close fight. Now I switch. You know, I always thought Canelo was gonna be too big, too strong, but now I'm gonna pick Crawford to win this fight. Crawford is very talented, great footwork, great combinations, and a very strong fighter. You know, facing him off. He's actually the taller man. So I'm leaning towards Crawford now. I switched my opinion. I think Canelo looked too slow, too flat-footed. You know, one punch at a time. You know, I don't think that's going to be enough for him to beat Crawford. Crawford's too fast, too strong, just too good.
This is relentless fighting. But Bud, the best fighter in boxing too. Make sure y'all let that be known. Canelo? Yeah. Bud, the best fighter in boxing. If Canelo is at his weight, I'm telling y'all now, Bud will beat Canelo. What is the biggest?
Terrence Crawford right now in the sport of boxing is the pound for pound best fighter in the sport of boxing right now.
How good is Crawford?
Crawford is amazing, not just good. He's amazing, and
he said the same thing about you.
Thank you, Terrence. But I think he should be in the book for
really? Is that good?
How to learn boxing, you know?
Really?
For me, pound for pound, number one is Terrence Crawford. I like this man. It's a great fighter.
I think it's Crawford first.
What's really surprising to me is that Jamal Charlo had Crawford beating Canelo Alvarez. I think that was pretty surprising. Salute to Hollow Ninja for the super chat. He says, I keep hearing snack. Well, what about clenbuterol? Yeah, exactly, bro. You know what I'm saying? We keep hearing about snack, but we ain't hearing nothing about clenbuterol. This dude actually tested positive for clenbuterol. Crawford ain't tested positive for nothing with snack. I don't know why the attack. Smash the like button for your boy, man. There's no debate, y'all. This might be the final episode. This might be the final episode, man. I don't think there's nothing left. Salute to Karate Body for another super chat. He says, I don't think the weight will matter because Crawford hasn't come in at 160 plus fight night before. It's Canelo punches to the arm that matter. I think that would be one of the more significant weapons that Canelo has. If nothing else is working, and if he can land anything, it'll be an arm punch to try to slow Crawford down so Crawford won't have any sting on his punches. You know what I'm saying? That could be an option for Canelo, but I mean, shit, he couldn't even do that against Skull, bro. This fight really determined on if Crawford decides to use his legs. Because he didn't even get to do the arm punching against Skull. William Skull, with his legs alone, took away all his weapons to where he was reduced to nothing but body punches. to where he was to reduce to nothing but body punches, y'all. Have we seen anybody in the boxing ring take away where Crawford only was reduced to fighting one way, or was reduced to one thing working, to where only a jab was landing? No. Even against the tricky Midrimov, Crawford was landing shots. And one of his more recent performances, that wasn't that impressive, he was still landing a variety of shots on this guy, a herky jerky guy who was real patient. Salute to everybody, man. I don't think it's gonna be too much more of an argument. I don't think there's gonna be too much more of a debate. I was looking for ways for Canelo, but there's not too many ways, man. That fight with William Skull really, really unveiled a lot. It showed the true slippage in Canelo's game, man. Something that I peeped out years ago. But everybody was so caught up into the hype, into the juice. So I was the only one like, yeah, man, he's slipping, man. He falling down the hill. Oh man, no, Canelo, he could beat Benavidez, man. Benavidez destroys him. Because if Canelo could beat him, he'll go fight him, just like he did Berlanga and Munguia. So he knew he could beat them dudes. Tailor-made matchups, easier fights. Not necessarily faster guys. You said Skull looked 2 weight classes bigger. Yeah, he did look bigger than Canelo too. I think Skull could have really asserted himself in the fight. He could have really spoiled everybody's plans. Honestly, if William Skull asserted himself, threw punches, threw more punches, um, he could have really made Canelo look bad, man, and fucked the bag up. Honestly, guys like William Skull is bad for the bag. Take away the boxing aspect of it, and look at it from a straight business point of view. William Skull is bad for the bag. He was bad for the bag. But Canelo had to kind of get that fight out the way to get that belt. Get that belt back. But by doing so, he kind of exposed himself. Guys like Bomac, and you best believe Bomac, Ben saw Canelo. Ben saw Canelo on the slippage. But like most people, he probably felt the weight could have possibly been a problem. But maybe not. You know what I'm saying? That weight ain't gonna be a factor. The only factor in the fight is the politics. You said you'll be back when I apply actual logic. Go ahead, drop something for me, Sharpie, Menace. Go ahead, drop some logic in the chat, man. Give us some logic. Cause you ain't saying nothing, but I ain't dropping nothing. I've been talking for almost an hour and a half, and I ain't dropped no logic this whole time. According to you, who just simply just came in here and just said I didn't drop no logic, but you ain't saying nothing. So go ahead and drop some logic for us, man. Give us something, man. Come on, coach. Teach us something. You said explain the politics. Politics of boxing is the Canelo is the cash cow. Canelo's the money man. Canelo, a lot of people eat off Canelo Alvarez. But now, with a guy like Turk Al-Sheikh on the scene, people can eat off of him instead of just relying solely on Canelo Alvarez. So this is probably why guys like IBFP or Punch Drunk feel that Turkey, who seems to have a better relationship with Crawford than he do with Canelo, feels that Crawford could get a favorable decision over Canelo Alvarez, who always get the favorable decision. He can win a round without throwing a punch. So yeah, Canelo got politics in his pocket. He won a round against Skull. He only threw 4 punches, and he didn't land none of them, and he won a round. That's politics, bro. I know it's tough, man. It's tough. I leave no openings. There's almost no room for you to insert any type of rebuttal. There's just no room, bro. I know. You can only hope I'm wrong, bro. At this point, you can only hope I'm wrong. That's it. You can only hope I'm wrong. Hope and pray. And then you can come back, and then I got to sit here and eat the crow viciously. You can only hope and pray at this point. Because Saul Canelo Alvarez is the underdog going into this fight, bro. Crawford won't be as a significant underdog as he originally would have been. You said nobody has ever stopped Canelo. We go see, man. You know, guys like Bozy thinks Crawford can get the stoppage. You know, a lot of guys in the chat think he can get the stoppage. I don't know. That's something that has to be proven. Just like it's got to be proven how you beat Crawford, it's got to be proven how you stop Canelo. So that's how I feel about that. I think Crawford can outbox him and make it look really easy. But stopping Canelo, that's a feat. But if he stops Canelo, bro, that's like top 3 all-time great shit. Top 5. And Bud is really good at stopping people. But I don't know, man. You know, he didn't stop me, Jamal. So, you know, Canelo may be another guy he don't stop. So we go see, man. He's really good at stopping people that never been stopped before. So, you know, you can't get them all. But he may get Canelo, he may not. I don't know. Canelo got an iron chin. So it's gonna be tough. And I'm not sure how strong Canelo's body is because guys never, ever work on Canelo's body. Ever. Nobody, ever. Yeah, Miedemov is a back foot fighter. He's definitely a back foot fighter. Canelo isn't a fighter that fights on the back foot. He's not a fighter that's moving lateral movement. He's not herky jerky. He's not constantly moving around. I think Miedemov did look better against Crawford than he did against Virgil. But Miedremov's style is just totally different from Canelo's. It's more tricky. He's a younger guy too. He got a lot more energy than Canelo. A lot more energy. Smash the like button for your boy. You said he gonna stop him or make him quit? You said Miedemov said he was sick going into the fight. Yeah, a lot of people was sick around that time, man. I noticed when a lot of fighters fight in Saudi Arabia, they get sick and all this other shit, man. They shouldn't be fighting out there. Crawford Canelo is in Vegas though, I think, right? So and it's going to be promoted by Dana White. So that's pretty interesting. Dana White, what is like, how deep do how Dana White is a busy guy. I would imagine Dana White is extremely busy. He got a whole stable of I forgot how many fighters in the UFC now. There's a whole bunch. And he got to follow these guys' stories and what's going on with them and build these guys. What do he know about Canelo and Crawford? Has he been following these guys enough to really truly promote this fight in a way to get even the MMA fans' attention? You know what I'm saying? I think Dana White got enough juice in the game, though. I think he's the best promoter in America. I don't know. The fight's gonna sell. It's on Netflix. It's rumored to be on Netflix, so that's pretty interesting as well. I'm not sure if it's gonna be on the Zone or anything like that. It's on Netflix, so Allegiant Stadium, 60,000 capacity. Holy shit, man, that's a big fight, man. That's a big fight, man. 60,000. I think they could pack that out. I think they could pack the Allegiant Stadium out, especially if the tickets is at a fair price. If it's not like Hollywood and shit, if the tickets is affordable for the people, hell yeah, they could pack 60,000 up in there. This is like one of Canelo's final fights, really. You said it's almost sold out. Yeah, Dana's one of the best promoters of all time, dude. He's one of the best promoters in fighting combat sports history. Like if you had like a top 5 promoters, Dana White is in there. I say Don King, Bob Arum, Dana White. Um, I'll give Eddie Hearn a little bit more time, but it's hard to say who else. Yeah, this is both boxers' legendary fight, man. This is a legendary fight for both fighters, and I think the narrative that this is actually going to be a challenge for Canelo should be something that should be sold because this is actually a challenge for him, in my opinion. But I don't know if it's going to be sold as that. I don't know if the narrative is going to be pushed to where Crawford is actually a real challenge for this dude. It might. Still a lot of time left. Still really early. It's only May. Still got like 4 months, like damn near 4 months till this thing happens. You said the prices are dumb. Damn. You said, did I see Richard Schaefer in the pic? I think Richard Schaefer works with Canelo, if I'm not mistaken. Richard Schaefer's pretty good. You know what I'm saying? He's more behind the scenes. You said you want to make some money on the bets? Yeah, we're gonna see what the bookies. I don't know. They may got the lines up right now, early lines, but as the fight gets closer, that stuff changed. Yeah, as the fight gets closer, that stuff changed for sure. You said minus 200 for Canelo? That's it? Wow. 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 That is crazy, bro. Minus, you said Bud is just plus 100? Ah, you ain't making no real money on that. You'll have to parlay some shit. Damn. You can't steal this one, y'all. The bookies even know what's up, man. Damn. Damn. This fight might be 50-50 or Crawford might be the favorite. Don't be surprised if he's the favorite by the time this fight really happens, y'all. Straight up. I'm saying he's the underdog now on some joking shit. But don't be surprised if that's really the case. By the time this fight happens, Canelo's the underdog. Plus 100. That's 50-50 basically. Damn. Hey, you ain't lying about that, OTR. Bud got brick hands, and Floyd had feather hands. Yeah, Bud got real big hands too. You know what I'm saying? Floyd had like little, you know what I'm saying, little hands and shit, man. But Floyd was still putting them hands on Canelo. Crawford's gonna hurt this dude, man. He gonna hurt. Canelo's gonna respect his power too. He's not gonna just be able to walk this guy down. This fight is not gonna look how people expected it to look 6 months ago. Yeah, Bud ain't a big underdog apparently, y'all. He's not a big underdog going into this fight. You said Bud got better feet than Floyd? I don't know. I don't know. Floyd uses his legs a lot more than Bud. You said minus 300 to go the distance. Oh, hell no. Hell no. This fight is not lopsided on the books like I thought. That shit is too close. You got to put some money down if on some minus 300. Damn. You said European how they look on the weigh-ins? Yeah, I mean, you know, I think that really matters for Crawford. But I think if he comes in and he's feeling good, you got to remember too, he's not cutting as much weight as he normally does, so he's not going to be depleting himself. He's going to have a lot more endurance, a lot more stamina. He's gonna be ready to go, dude. And if he don't lose no speed, if he still has his speed, which he should, considering his arm length and shit like that, um, this could be a bad. This could be a this right now to me. This is looking like a bad fight for Canelo right now, and I can't figure out a way he could truly win this fight. Like I tried to figure out a way Spence can win. It was hard to say. Same thing for Canelo. I can't figure it out, bro. I can't figure it out, bro. The mindset, man, the mindset of Terrence Crawford is gonna be something to overcome. The aura, his mindset, his will, those are gonna be a lot of things. That's gonna be hard for him to overcome, man. Because Canelo already got a lot of respect for this guy. And if Canelo tries to box with him, like Roy Jones said, if he tries to box with him, that could be bad. You're trying to out jab Crawford. He over here out jabbing you. Boom, his jab going over yours. Smack. You know what I'm saying? Then what you gonna do? You try to switch it up. Then you start getting desperate. You start lunging in more. Then he's gonna start countering because he's a guy that's gonna make you pay for your mistakes. You know what I'm saying? This is a bad fight for Canelo, bro. And guys are gonna. This is probably the last episode, man. Because I don't think there's a debate. I don't see no argument for anybody. It's gonna get personal. They're gonna start getting racist. They're gonna say you're Bushido's racist, right? This is what they're gonna do. There's no argument no more. He said it's been personal. Oh luck, Canelo, man. Good luck, man. Crawford's gonna be his toughest fight of his career. This is definitely Canelo's toughest fight. On paper, this is Canelo's toughest matchup, as well as Crawford's on paper, but it's definitely Canelo's too. Mean Machine and Gamboa, man. Gamboa, pat yourself on the back, bro. You might be the only guy that really got something off on Crawford, man. You and Mean Machine, man. Good luck. Salute to y'all, man. They call y'all bums and shit for years, bro. Man, people get mad, man. This is gonna get real personal, man. Because unlike the Spence Army, who had some pretty good talking points, I mean, they truly believed everything they were saying, and it was really good. You know, it was just everything. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence fans literally was on channels talking like you ain't gonna see none of that for Canelo, bro. You ain't gonna see none of that, bro. You ain't gonna see none of that. Yeah, Canelo KO's Bud, man. That's respect to him because that's a feat too. Him stopping Crawford. I got to give him his credit because that's never been done. How did you do it? You got no feet, man. How did you do it? You got cement shoes on, man. How did you catch him? So yeah, it's gonna be like the Sugar Ray LaMotta shit, man. It's gonna be, man. It's probably gonna be a lot more one sided though. But it kind of reminds me of that, like the styles, like you say Crawford and Canelo was back in the day. It'll be like Sugar Ray and LaMotta. You know what I'm saying? Especially Canelo at this point, the way he fights now. High guard and shit, coming forward, throwing the big shots. You said cement shoes hit harder. Yeah, at stationary targets. That's right. Cement shoes does hit harder on stationary targets, man. You said you don't see Blood stopping him? Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it either, man, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the Spence fight and some of these other fights, he kind of got up for those fights. But I don't know. I ain't saying he didn't get up for Mijamal because he would have had to. And Mijamal was just proven to be durable. But I don't know, man. Canelo ain't been stopped, bro. He ain't never been stopped. Could Crawford get the job done? Boziena seems to believe that Crawford can get the job done via KO. James Toney been saying it when everybody thought it was really unpopular to say it. James Toney been saying Crawford knocks Canelo out. he been James Toney been saying it. James Toney might be on to something way before everybody else. Because he been saying it. That Canelo knocks him and Crawford knocks Canelo out. That Crawford knocks him out. Canelo, a lot of people attack Canelo's head. You know what I'm saying? They don't ever really go for his body, bro. You know, we're gonna see what happens with that. I don't think, and Crawford's a guy that lands punches in the right places, but Canelo's a guy that knows how to really roll with the punches. He got an iron chin. I would think that Crawford would have to kind of work Canelo's body in some capacity, which will also put him at risk for Canelo to land his shots. So I don't know. That's gonna be interesting. But Crawford is a dude you don't know what type of approach he's gonna bring to the fight. You don't know what he's gonna do. It's not like he comes out the same way every fight. Like with Floyd Mayweather, even with Floyd, We knew exactly what Floyd was going to do every single fucking fight, maybe except for the Cotto fight because he was sick or whatever. But every fight, Floyd Mayweather did the same thing, and nobody could do nothing with him. But with Crawford, we don't know what he's going to do in a fight, and then somewhere along the fight, they can't do nothing with him. It's crazy. Salute to Mario for the super chat. He said, if Crawford stops Canelo, it will be a body shot. That's what I'm thinking too, man. I'm leaning more towards the body shot, but that has yet to be seen either. But one thing we also haven't seen is that guys really attack Canelo's body. You know, we didn't really see guys. I don't ever really remember seeing Canelo get attacked to the body, bro. Never seen it. I can't even really picture a time where I actually seen Canelo really get hit to the body. I'll have to look at a highlight or start watching fights again and see if I see it. But I never really remember seeing it. Guys always headhunt him. Maybe because he got a big ass head and they think they can just hit him there. But I think the body will be ideal against Canelo because he don't get hit to the body enough. How hard do Canelo be working out his abs? And Crawford's a really good, active, consistent body puncher. If anything, it'll really slow Canelo down, and then it'll really open him up for the clean shot. Crawford's good at placing punches in the right spot. So, y'all smash that like button for your boy, man. Yeah, Mitrumov was pretty unpredictable. Yeah, he was. He was real patient. He was unpredictable. He was feinting a lot. It was a totally different style than Canelo Alvarez, bro, and a lot more energetic. Yeah, Canelo, Bud aged in the ring, but I don't think he aged nearly as much as Canelo has, bro. Of course, Crawford aged, but I think Canelo aged even more. Because unlike Crawford, Canelo's took a loss somewhere along the line. Regardless of who he's fighting, he took a loss. Him being a younger guy, he took a loss. This is a trap, man. They tricked Canelo and them to get in this fight, man. They tricked everybody. And I think with Turkey Al-Sheikh being involved, I think things is a little bit more neutral as far as how the politics will go. I could be wrong there, but I think things is a little bit more neutral. I think this will be a little bit more neutral. I think the decision will go to the right man. I think if Crawford clearly shuts out Canelo Alvarez, I think he'll get a clean cut, unanimous decision win. I think I believe that at this point. Yeah, Canelo fans quiet, man. They quiet. They'll be here in the chat on the comment section after the video stream is done. They'll be here later, but right now they're not gonna really come when we live cooking. There's just no room for them in the kitchen. It's just too much steam. It's too high. It's too many people. They can't handle it. There's just so many different ways we could break down this fight. I don't want to really piss them off. I don't want them to really. I don't want to scare them away. I don't want to fuck up the bookies. You know what I'm saying? I don't want the odds makers to turn Crawford to the favorite overnight. I don't want to do all that right now. But there's so many ways we can sit there and just break this fight down, and so many different ways that Crawford could possibly win this fight. It's just Canelo's style, bro. Styles makes fights, man. And like I said, I just see him really only at this point having a puncher's chance.
I'm going with Terence Crawford. Big weight jump, a dangerous fight, but somebody's got to prove to me that they can break Terence Crawford's will and that he can't figure it out against you. It ain't no disrespect toward Canelo, but I've said this The last couple of years, I'm not betting against Terrence Crawford against nobody right now. You got to show me that you can beat him.
That version of Canelo probably does lose to Crawford. He looked different. His movement was different. His body was different. His attitude was different. Everything was different. I don't think Canelo's going to show up like that. He had what he had in front of him, and he knew what it was and what he wasn't. And he understands that Crawford is not the same thing as William Skull. And you're only as good as your last fight. And that's the last fight we're going to see Canelo before he steps into the ring with Crawford.
He might stop you, man. I ain't gonna hold you, man.
Canelo Alvarez got one of the best chins.
Yeah, but hey, listen, he ain't been hit by Terrence though. Terrence can punch, man. You know what I mean? I know he's been in with some of the great punches and all that, but them punches got to be placed right. You know what I mean? And Terrence placed them punches, man. Them body shots, man. I don't see too many people go to Canelo body. Have you seen that?
Not really.
Not too many people.
Even Triple G, who's a good body puncher.
Yeah, but
everything was up top.
Everybody, and he got a hard head, man. So I will go to the body, go to the head, and go back down to the body. And then once you keep on going to that body, he's gonna drop his hands. Once he drop his hands, good night.
Think he beats Crawford?
No. If Crawford come out with the game plan that I'm thinking that he will, and he's just as big. I mean, you know, size is size. I mean, I feel like Crawford got a chance. Everyone counting him out, but he has a chance against Canelo. Yeah. But if Canelo win the fight, I'll be right there to fight him.
You know, it's a hard one to call, and I'm going to tell you why it's a hard one to call. It's a hard one to call because it'll all be predicated upon how Canelo approaches the fight. If Canelo approaches the fight like he's the man and he can box and outbox Terrence Crawford, he'll get beat. If he comes out and shows that he really wants to go out and prove the world that he's still the best, he might win. So it all depends on which Canelo come to the dance.
Look, I think this fight now with Crawford is gonna make it a better fight. I think it's a very close fight. Now I switch. I always thought Canelo was gonna be too big, too strong, but now I'm gonna pick Crawford to win this fight. Crawford is very talented, great footwork, great combinations, and a very strong fighter. Facing him off. He's actually the taller man. So I'm leaning towards Crawford now. I switched my opinion. I think Canelo looked too slow, too flat-footed. One punch at a time. I don't think that's gonna be enough for him to beat Crawford. Crawford's too fast, too strong, just too good.
I'm just gonna tell you like this: if Canelo couldn't knock out Charlo, or you really think that he's gonna knock out Crawford? Charlo was on his bike. Charlo was trying not to get hit. Canelo landed some shots. He dropped them, but he still didn't stop him. He didn't stop him. So with that being said, if Crawford can get off, not get hit with the big shots, avoid those big shots, get off again, avoid those big shots, because you see the punches coming. Canelo is so predictable, dude. You know a hook is coming. You know when the right hand is coming. You know he's going down to the body. He gives it away. There's a tail with him. There really is. And it's usually off the high guard. He comes in, he marches forward, then boom. Crawford's going to be able to see all of that. Mm-hmm. He's too knowledgeable inside the ring. His IQ is too high. If he can avoid the shots, avoid the big bum, and not get knocked out, he can outbox Canelo. It doesn't matter. He don't have to knock him out. He can outbox him, outpoint him. So, yeah, I would pick Terrence Crawford to beat a Canelo Alvarez, even at 168. Everybody can call me crazy and whatever you want to say. I get it. Y'all didn't believe me when I told you about Spence, but trust me, Crawford will figure out a way. I know a secret y'all don't know, and I ain't going to tell you why I would pick Terrence Crawford, but it's part of the secret is the reason why I'm picking him to win the fight. So,
yeah. I don't know, y'all. I don't think there's much of a debate at this point. I didn't expect this. I expected a lot more pushback. I expected a lot more opposing arguments as to why Canelo Alvarez is gonna really win the fight. But I think the arguments that they did once have has once left the building. I think there's nothing left. I don't know, y'all. Canelo is slow. Canelo's slow, bro. I'm telling you, and he don't like to deal with speed. Canelo is slow, and he don't like to deal with speed. Crawford's going to be significantly faster, man. That's it, man. But salute to everybody in the building. Thank you guys for stopping in. Canelo versus Crawford debate episode 2. I don't know if we're going to do a part 3. We will see. We will see. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. I love you, Mom. Yeah, man. I don't know. I've been thinking of a way. I could probably try to think of a way Canelo could think of a way he could really win a fight, but I already kind of gave it out. And I see that really as of right now, him being his only real shot. And him beating Terrence Crawford, man. This is an uphill battle for Canelo Alvarez, in my opinion. I don't even know if at this point do he really have the power of the politics in his favor at this point. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see. But salute to everybody in the building. Thank you guys for stopping in this evening. Thanks you to everybody that donated to the dojo today. Your contribution was greatly appreciated. And we will see how this thing plays out, man. We will see how this thing plays out. Catch you guys on the next one. Like and subscribe.